Hey, thanks for tuning in again to the Block Academy of Music YouTube instructional video channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about harmonic value and how this concept can help you develop your improvisational skills and become more articulate when you're taking guitar solos. So harmonic values, it's like a medium-sized subject, you can say that, okay? It's not super complicated, but I'm not going to cover the whole thing in this video. But I'm going to introduce you to it if you've never heard of it, and then you'll see that it's sort of the underpinnings of music as a language, right? And so harmonic value basically is the concept that each note has a psychological or an emotional effect. Each note has a certain feel in context of the song. And so the more you get familiar with that, the more articulate you're going to be in your note choice and what you want to hear. And sometimes I remember people would say, hey, play what you hear. And sometimes I didn't understand that because I was playing things that were based on patterns or guitar licks or scale, like scale drills, which was great because those things that I was using were based on songs and guitar songs that I'd heard and guitar players that I'd listened to, like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix. I wanted to sound like them. But at some point, you want to make decisions based on what you want to hear, and having the knowledge is really important to be able to do that. So harmonic value is the knowledge that's going to help you make decisions on what exactly you want to hear in terms of the harmony. So here's the simple explanation. We're going to use the pentatonic scale as an example. You could use the major scale. There's 7 notes in the major scale. There's 5 notes in the pentatonic scale. We're going to stick with the pentatonic scale, but I bring up the major scale because it has all 7 notes. And when you transfer your focus to the pentatonic scale, you're going to be missing 2 of those notes. Like for example, we're going to be studying. We'll do the A minor pentatonic first. I'll put a link up there with all the harmonic values for you to study. So in the A minor pentatonic scale, you have 5 notes, and they each have a value. We're going to number those values. Okay, so the root A is going to be 1. And then you're going to the next value, which is actually a minor third, or a flat third, you can say. So you have 1, 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. Okay, so there's your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Don't get confused. I just counted there. I'm talking about value. So there's 5 notes, but the harmonic value is a different number set. I'll repeat it. The harmonic value is root, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, and then 1. Okay? So that's the harmonic value of the minor pentatonic scale. So how are you going to use this? How is this going to help you? So what you can do, you can start by looking at those classic licks that you might know already. Here's a lick that I use all the time. I'm sure you've seen it in other videos. It's a lick that you get from Chuck Berry and B.B. King, and so it looks like this. Actually, I'm going to change it. We're going to do an Aubrey King lick just to keep it in the A minor pentatonic, because the B.B. King and the Chuck Berry lick is an A major pentatonic lick, so I changed my mind. So here comes an A minor pentatonic lick. You've heard this in a million places too. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Aubrey King, right? So what I'm going to do is I can also do it up here. Right? So you want to know so first of all, what kind of feeling does that give you? When I hear Albert King play that, it sounds like a cry. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Albert King, it sounds like there's some pain in that. It's a minor tonality. There's a little bit of sadness, and it's kind of aggressive, that last. So what's giving us that? What's giving me the feeling of pain or sadness or kind of aggression or something like that? However, whatever you want to describe it as, you want to identify what's the feeling, and let's talk about the harmonic value so you know how to recreate that in other locations. That'll be a second point that I'll make here in a second. So first, let's get the harmonic value. So what I'm doing is, I'll take it back down here. So we have A minor pentatonic. The value is 1, minor third, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. And then it goes on again. Minor third, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. Minor third, 4. Okay? So here I am. I'm at the top of the lick here. And I'm bending the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. I'm sorry, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 3, 4. So I'm bending the 4 to the 5, okay? It's just that simple. 4 is bending to 5. That's your value. That's the description of the value. And now I'm going to hit the 3 to the 1. It's the minor 3 to the 1. So for some of you that might be a little bit obvious. Like, yeah, duh, I'm bending the 4. I'm hitting the 1. But this is an introduction to harmonic value. And if you take this into your other scales and all of your other melodic approaches, whether you're playing the head of a jazz tune, or if you're playing through some changes that are complicated, you want to know what the harmonic value of the scale is in context of the chord you're on, and so forth. And I think that this goes pretty far out. I think that this is the fundamental concept for all improvisational practices as guitar players and music as a whole. So you take these licks that are really classic, and then you figure out the harmonic value. Okay, so we just did 4, 3, 1. Bending the 4, we bent it up to 5. Minor third, 1. So what do you do with that? Here's an idea. You can take the octave map, put a link in there for you to study the octave map. I have another video on that. And take these licks, move them from octave to octave, and then learn the harmonic value at each location of the scale, and repeat your licks. Starts to connect the dots. You get some fretboard mastery, and you start seeing the values of the notes that you're using, and the values of the notes that you're using begin to become sort of like the language. You can say that the expression is more emotional and psychological, but if you know what those feelings, the emotional and psychological effect of those licks, if you know what they're based upon, the numbers, the harmonic value of the scale that you're on and the key that you're in, it's really going to clean up your approach, in your mind, and it'll empower you. If you play by ear already, this is just going to strengthen what you already have going for you. If you're an analytical player, this is where you want to be, harmonic value. And so I'll put a link for the A minor pentatonic and the A major pentatonic with the harmonic values listed. And just start small. Don't try and learn the value for the whole scale. Start with stuff that you're already playing, like maybe even analyze the bass line. Or find out what those values are, because those are really commonly used bass lines, and the licks that you're playing are probably commonly played, and you want to know what those values are, because that's what the language is. So harmonic value is part of the music language. Phrasing is part of the language of music, and rhythm is part of the language of music. And so this concept goes on, and it's a good way to approach and understand music as a language. So if you have any contributions, if there's something I missed and you want to straighten me out, definitely let me know. If you have any questions, put some comments below, or send an email, and I'd love to hear from you. And if I can be of help, I'd be happy to help. So thanks again for tuning in, and keep playing. See ya.